Stop everything. What I'm about to tell you will shake the foundations of the NFL as we know it. A secret so explosive, so unprecedented, that the moment it hits the wire, it will send shockwaves through every franchise, every fan base, and every analyst's mind. Sources just confirmed something huge, a clandestine maneuver so bold, so meticulously planned, that the entire league is holding its breath, waiting for the fallout. This isn't just a rumor. It's the kind of deal that reshapes futures, flips rosters, and rewrites histories. And the craziest part, it's happening right now, behind closed doors, in a world of encrypted calls, secret meetings, and high-stakes negotiations that only a select few are privy to. There's a superstar, an elite game-changing force, whose move this offseason could redefine what value and potential really mean in the NFL. We're talking about a player who's been quietly building a legacy, accumulating stats that whisper greatness, but whose next step promises to vault him into a new stratosphere. Imagine a name that commands respect across the league, whose tape alone makes defensive coordinators sweat, and whose presence on the field can turn a game on a dime. This is the kind of player whose value skyrockets, whose worth is measured in championship dreams, and whose signing would send shockwaves through the entire NFL ecosystem. The front offices are in chaos. Phones ringing off the hook, agents racing against the clock, and whispers flying through league circles about a secret strategy that could alter the landscape forever. Confidential sources say that every major franchise, especially those with championship aspirations, aligns in silence, waiting for the decisive move. And all of this tension, the hush-hush meetings at private jets, the encrypted calls from billionaire owners, points to one player, one man who's about to become the centerpiece of the deal of the decade. Why now? Why this player? Because in a league where every inch counts, a single move, just one blockbuster trade can tip the scales from good to great, from contender to champion. And the team making this move, they're not just contenders, they're title aspirants desperate to cement their legacy. They're willing to do whatever it takes, calling on their brightest minds, tapping into every ounce of their financial firepower. They are the Dallas Cowboys, a franchise that's been quietly plotting, scheming, and maneuvering in the shadows for months. And they've found him. Yes, I'm telling you, the Cowboys, a team notorious for bold moves and headline-grabbing decisions, are on the brink of pulling off something that will leave the league stunned. The buzz is palpable. Sources close to the front office describe a plan so audacious it borders on unbelievable, a move that critics would label impossible, but insiders know better. This is football's version of a seismic shift, a blockbuster trade so massive that it could set the tone for the entire 2026 season and beyond. And it all hinges on one thing, the player. So who is this game changer? Who is the name that's got the entire league eyeing the Cowboys with suspicion, anticipation, and a dash of envy? You think you've heard everything about NFL trades? Think again, because what's coming next will blow your mind, and I promise you haven't seen anything yet. But hold on, because I'm not revealing the star just yet. Not immediately. First, let's set the stage. Imagine a franchise under pressure, desperate for a defensive spark. The Cowboys have been battling inconsistency on defense all season, allowing over 500 points, struggling to stop the run, and searching for that missing piece that elevates them from good to elite. They've been scouring the market, making secret visits, holding encrypted meetings in luxury hotel suites, flying in and out of private airports. Behind the scenes, Jerry Jones's top brass has been racing against time, pushing every boundary to land this one game-changing player, the need. A dominant force on the interior line. Someone who can not only clog the middle but also disrupt offensive rhythm, pressure quarterbacks, and anchor a defensive scheme that's been teetering for years. They've been looking for months, patiently, meticulously, with laser focus, chasing every lead, every whisper of a potential trade. And in this whirlwind of strategy, negotiations, and high-stakes moves, they saw HIM. And then they found HIM. Are you ready? Because what I'm about to reveal is the biggest football story of 2026 so far. It's about to turn every expectation upside down. Meet the man who can transform the Cowboys from a struggling team into a legitimate Super Bowl contender in one seismic shift. The player who's been quietly racking up stats, defying age, and silencing critics. None other than the unstoppable, relentless, and utterly vital Grover Stewart. Yes, I said Grover Stewart. Now let's dive deep into this beast of a man, this force of nature, and see exactly why Dallas is eyeing him as their ultimate reset button. Because Stewart isn't just a name you toss around lightly. His career stats read like a highlight reel of dominance. Standing at 64 and weighing 315 pounds, he's a mountain of muscle. A run-stopping, gap-shutting, havoc-creaking defensive tackle who's built to be the backbone of a championship defense. In 2025, despite some recent hurdles, Stewart racked up 41 tackles, yes, 41, with half a sack and some key plays that made coaches nod in respect. But it's not just about the numbers, it's his style. He's an anchor, a bulldozer on the line whose strength, rated 91, is legendary. His block-shedding 86 is elite, allowing him to shed blockers and pursue ball carriers with relentless pursuit 88. His play recognition 89 means he's always a step ahead, reading plays before they develop and disrupting running lanes with surgical precision. And he's clutch. His career best came in 2020, when he not only hit double figures in tackles, but also played with energy and aggression that turned him into a must-have on any defense. The NFL world talks about him as a run-stopper with a motor, often making life hell for offensive lines, especially in critical third-down situations. His contract situation. A recent extension in March 2024 promised him 3 years at $39 million, making him one of the highest-paid defensive tackles outside the elite tier. But here's the kicker. With his recent performance dip in 2025, many insiders believe this is the perfect moment for Dallas to swoop in, strike a deal, and acquire him before his market value drops further. Why does Stewart fit Dallas perfectly? Because the Cowboys, who have been desperate for a dominant interior presence, see him as their missing puzzle piece. They need someone who can anchor that line, elevate the defense, and allow their linebackers and secondary to tighten up. Stewart brings not only raw power, but a cerebral approach to defense that's rare for a player his size. He's the type of player who transforms a defense into a fortress, a player whose presence on the field alone strikes fear into opponents. And the best part, his age, 32, is not a downside anymore. With proper coaching and strategic load management, Stewart can still deliver elite-level performances for at least 2 more seasons. The Cowboys are betting big. They're willing to shell out top dollar, and I mean top dollar, because the value he provides on the field, combined with his leadership, is worth more than all the cap space in the world. But wait, it gets even crazier. Behind the scenes, NFL authorities, insiders, and rival teams are already buzzing. Rumors swirl that the Cowboys' brain trust, led by Jerry Jones's sharp eye for value and strategic genius, has been working in the shadows, pulling strings and negotiating with Stewart's team in a clandestine deal that could shatter NFL trade records. And those negotiations, they're not simple. Rival teams like the Cleveland Browns, who have been eyeing interior defensive linemen all offseason, are trying to block this move, offering counter deals, higher salaries, or draft picks they hope will sway Stewart's camp. But Dallas, they're playing chess. They have a long-term vision, a clear plan to dominate not just this year but the next decade. Sources close to the owner reveal a snippet of Jerry Jones's mindset. This player is the missing piece. If we pull this off, it's not just a trade, it's a statement. We're here to reclaim our throne. Meanwhile, coaches are already visualizing how Stewart's relentless power complements their scheme. Imagine him slamming into offensive lines, creating chaos, and freeing up linebackers to fly around and make plays. And it's not just about defense. The financials, they're carefully calculated. The Cowboys are prepared to navigate cap space, releasing a few players to make room, reworking contracts, and carving out room for this blockbuster. Stewart's market value, estimated at $13.15 million per year, fits right into their plan, especially considering the upgrade he brings. To put it simply, the next 48 hours are critical. This isn't just a rumor, it's a ticking time bomb. If the deal goes through, it will be remembered as one of the most strategic, game-changing trades in NFL history. Imagine the headlines. Cowboys make major splash, Stewart joins Dallas in blockbuster deal. The social media explosion will be immediate, fans clamoring, analysts debating, rivals trembling. And think about the ripple effect. A dominant Stewart could elevate the entire Dallas defense, transforming their worst unit into a fortress. His presence would allow other young players to thrive, creating a culture of toughness and resilience. The Cowboys, once mocked for defensive struggles, would suddenly become a force to be reckoned with. In fact, if this deal hits, expect to see a seismic shift in NFL power rankings. The league's landscape, its balance of power, will be forever altered. Teams will scramble to respond, and the Cowboys, they will be on a fast track with a roster that rivals any contender in NFL history. So, buckle up, because what's happening behind the scenes right now is nothing short of legendary. The whispers in league circles confirm a deal of epic proportions is imminent, a move so bold it will echo for years to come. And the centerpiece? Grover Stewart. The man, the myth, the next big game changer for the Dallas Cowboys. This is the story you can't miss. Stay tuned, because in the next moments everything could change, and you'll want to be the first to know. The NFL's next chapter is about to be written, and it begins with this player, this team, and the moment that could redefine football history forever. Are you ready? Because the countdown has begun, and when it hits 0, nothing will be the same again.